Hey all, how goes it? So I'm here at the Red Ball Garage located on the island of Manhattan in New York City. In just a few minutes time, I'll be taking this Hertz rental Tesla Model Y long range on a cannonball run across the country to Los Angeles, California, specifically the Portofino Hotel in Redondo Beach. It's a few minutes before 10 a.m. and I'm doing my final preparations before starting the timer and setting off for good. I have a specific goal in mind to get the overall electric vehicle Cannonball Run Record. There's a great deal of preparation that goes into any cannonball run, so I'm going to spend a few minutes going over how I got to this point and my overall plan. So first things first, why a Tesla Model Y long range? There are certainly better options out there, right? Well, yes there are, and I had tried for a while to get those better options. I first tried press cars. I figured with my huge YouTube following, I would have my pick of the litter. I first tried sending video messages to the German car brands, as well as the Koreans. However, they all said no. So here I was with a burning desire to take on Elon, but with no car to do it with. I then went on Turo, and at least in my area there were very few options capable of competing for the record. And of those options, most of them were Tesla. So it looks like it will have to be a Tesla Cannonball Run after all. I successfully managed to reserve a Model S long range just like the record holders used. It also had unlimited miles and was drastically underpriced. However, a problem arose in that after I made the reservation, the Turo owner realized he had drastically underpriced his car and canceled my reservation. When I found the car again, the owner had listed it at $150 a day. And this is why I hate Turo. So I finally ended up renting from Hertz, who in my area only had Model 3 standard ranges and Model Y long ranges, and that's how the Model Y became the car. So elephant in the room, how do I plan to challenge the record with a car that is much taller, has a smaller battery, and slower charging? Well, since the previous record was set a couple years ago, I'm hoping to take advantage of there simply being more Tesla V3 superchargers along the route than the record holders had access to during their run. Furthermore, I'll be using the northern route instead of the southern route like the record holders. With this route, there are less populated areas to go through and thus less traffic, however, it is slightly longer. I'm also leveraging my day job to some degree by using the Google Maps Places and Directions service through their API and calculating how much distance every single supercharger stop adds to my trip. The idea here is to pick the superchargers closest to the interstate. Now, will this be enough to get over the Model S's obvious hardware advantage? We shall see. By the way, the current record holders Ryan Levinson and Josh Allen posted dashcam footage of their run on the Kilowatts YouTube channel. With this information, I plotted out their route across the country, and quite frankly, it's pretty efficient. No doubt it will be a hard record to beat. So with all my planning done and the date of my reservation approaching, I made a trip to DC National Airport to pick up my Cannonball Chariot. At this point, please note that I had never stepped foot in a Tesla before. However, I figured driving it home and then to New York City will be plenty of time to learn the car's ins and outs. So I wake up by 5 a.m. the morning of the run in order to drive from DC to New York, supercharged to 98% since I was losing patience getting to 100, and head off to the Red Ball Garage where you see me now.
Are we at 10? Okay, that's at 10, so we should be... That's at 10, so this one should be at 10 soon. Okay. So the Google Maps will be here for the anti-police. The Tesla will be the main nav. It's making me nervous saying I need to charge on the way there, but you know, I'm not gonna do that.
So something unexpected happened right before the start. The Tesla told me I needed to charge before reaching my destination, which was only 211 miles away. However, I ignored that warning since it was time to go.
Okay, 10. Everything says 10 now. Start. All right, so that's starting. Again, I'm just gonna let that go in the background. This will be the main timer. Start. Okay, 10 o'clock a.m. Saturday 16th. So let's go. Oh, look at that. Just as soon as I do this, it's like, first of all, let me back up a little. God, like, this is not the best start, honestly. I start the timer and Alright, we're going. So let's see how long it takes to get out of New York City.
As you can see, it was not the greatest of starts. In my defense, I wanted to start this 2 hours before. However, due to simply taking a while to get out of the house and getting lost going to my pre-Cannonball supercharge, New York City was already bustling by the time I got there. So why start my run at this time of the day and deal with this traffic? Well, with the timing of the EV run, at least based on my calculations, which could be flawed, you could choose early morning hours for either New York or Los Angeles, but not both. So I chose to leave New York now in order to get into Los Angeles in the early morning hours. Furthermore, I needed to stay awake until I could meet up with my co-driver. More on that later. For now, I'm just gonna crack open the windows because it's getting hot and enjoy the sights and sounds of New York City.
It looks like it'll be a fun place to live. I mean, I lived in Chicago 8 years, so I kind of got my fill of city life with that. But Chicago also, a lot of it kind of sucked as well. It had like great neighborhoods, then stretches of bad neighborhoods before another great neighborhood would show up. Ooh, smells like weed. Dang it, UPS. And we got pedestrians. I'm gonna get honked at like no one's business. So I never owned a car in Chicago, so I don't have advanced city driving skills. I just know you're not supposed to hit pedestrian to get in big trouble. So I'm still at 97%, and it's charging needed to reach destination. I highly doubt that. But we'll see. I mean, how is it that it can't go 211 miles and it states 306 miles of range? Oh my god, seriously? The Cisco truck is just stopped here? How are you supposed to get around it? Cisco, if I don't get the record, I'm coming for you.
Very sorry, by the way, for the crappy GoPro footage. I just got it in the mail a few days before the run, and I kept forgetting that it was on my forehead, not at eye level. I also tend to sit up very straight when driving in a high-anxiety situation like navigating the streets of New York City. I planned to use a lot of dashcam footage, but was later horrified to find that none of my dashcam footage was saved. The date on the dashcam reset due to being unplugged for a long time. So all the new footage had dates from the year 2017 and was immediately overwritten. I should have cleared that SD card, that's on me, but anyways, back to the run. Here I am officially leaving New York by driving under the Hudson River and into New Jersey.
Garden State Parkway in 1.6 miles. I think I can start building some speed now. Okay. Garden State Parkway. No exit numbers or anything, it's just Garden State Parkway. Duh.
So first order of business is to get out of New Jersey. I noticed for the northern route that there's a lot more Jersey to get through. Our goal is to get on the main artery taking us west, and that is I-80. I was hoping to be able to go pretty fast right out of the gate, but with the car doubting my ability to make it 2/3 of the stated range, I kept speeds fairly conservative. For those that don't know, speeds for electric vehicle cannonball runs are much slower than the gas runs. Basically, the amount of energy you need goes like this the faster you go, quadratically or exponentially or whatever those small numbers in the corners mean. For an electric vehicle, since energy is much harder to come by with today's battery and charging tech, at some point it makes it not worth it to put in the extra time charging in order to go speeds that may require revisiting whatever state you're in for a court date. After going through confusing streets, tunnels, and a fair amount of traffic, I was finally able to get on I-80, where all I'd have to do is go straight for a long time.
Oops.
In 1 mile, take the Interstate 80 west ramp on the right.
Alright, looks like I'll be getting on 80. Oh, I'm so hot. Ugh. Isn't there a way to let just a little bit of fresh air into the cabin? I mean, that made the Kona Electric run tolerable in June, and this is September. It's only 70 supposedly, but it feels very hot in here.
In 1,000 feet, Take the interstate.
By the way, you may hear me occasionally refer to a past Cannonball Run attempt I did a few months earlier in June. This was a solo attempt in my own Hyundai Kona Electric. Shameless plug, I have a video on that. Disclaimer though, there was too much traffic, it was taking too long, and I gave up in Indianapolis.
So we're at 40 minutes, 28 seconds. A long time to get out of New York, but we're on 80. We're heading west, so we should be good for a little while, all the way to Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. Unbelievable to think, in this run, I'm only gonna have one stop in Pennsylvania, whereas in the last run, I had 3. We got construction. It's an hour, 16 minutes in. I think I'm about 70 miles in. Now these right 2 lanes are closing, so, you know, obviously I'm just staying in the right lanes as long as I can because of zipper merge. Thank you, zipper merge. See this guy, I'm sure I'm gonna pass him at some point because of zipper merge.
Though it looks a bit foreboding, I actually wouldn't see traffic like this again for the entire rest of the day. And though the roads would soon open up, I still had to keep speeds reasonable with the Tesla repeatedly giving me warnings to watch my speed in order to make my first charging stop. I committed to using absolutely no climate control on this run, so in the middle of the day I was really just contending with the heat.
Hey, what's up? Look at how sweaty I am. I mean, this is the kind of sacrifice I make for Cannonball. Yep, trying to just get this first 211 mile leg in and making it. So let me put this on. Okay, hopefully. So it looks like it's saying I'll get there with 3% state of charge. I have 21% here and I have 42 miles to go. I'm going 83 miles per hour.
I have to admit that the Cannonball Run appealed to me right away the first time I heard about it because at the end of the day, it's simply a great way to see the country. I know I'm totally dating myself here, but as a kid, I used to play a lot of Pilot Wing 64, where you could fly around and see different parts of the country. In a way, I feel like my long road trips are just me trying to relive that childlike sense of exploration and wonder. The first major obstacle for either Cannonball route is the state of Pennsylvania, and especially wide and mountainous state with tons of cresting and descending the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It's just beautiful to look at, and it's easy to get lost in your thoughts as you observe the miles and miles of pastoral scenery fly by your windows. In about half an hour though, my trance would be interrupted by my first charging stop. The first leg of any electric vehicle Cannonball Run is usually the longest because you get to start with a full, or 97% full in my case, battery. Charging is much slower as the battery gets full, so you won't see battery levels nearly that high for the rest of the run.
Whew, doggy, 3% state of charge, that's crazy. I never thought I'd be that low and be so okay with it. Like, with my Hyundai Kona Electric, if it went down below 10 miles of range, I started to freak out, like for real. I mean, it's a smaller battery. I don't know, I thought this would have done 211 miles with ease. Okay, coming up on the first stop here, and I will say these superchargers are a little bit harder to spot than the Electrify America stations. Oh, there they are.
Turn right.
Doesn't look like there's anyone there.
At your destination.
So here I am arriving at my first supercharger of the trip in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania, located about half a mile from I-80. I'm 211 miles in, and about 3 hours and 30 minutes have elapsed with a local time of 1:30 p.m.
The rates we get here. See, what do I want to park? Is there anything near the shade? I'll just park over here. It's a little more isolated. So let's do this. Let's do this. Green, 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 green. Come on, yes, okay. What kind of rates are we getting here? I can finally open a window. Still no climate control, we're just gonna open windows. Whew. Out here, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania, beautiful farm country. I'm not sure what part, it's near State College, and a couple videos ago, Like 3 videos ago, I took a trip up to State College to pick up my very first EV, the Hyundai Kona Electric. Actually, sad news with that one is that some idiot hit it, and now I gotta go get a new one. I mean, Maryland drivers, the stereotype comes from somewhere, just overcautious and hesitant, yet inattentive and self-centered. It's the strangest combination.
So as I alluded to earlier, I've already planned every single supercharger I plan to use on my run. The first leg, though, kind of put this whole list out of whack. After using 95% of the battery to only go 211 miles, I realized that some of my longer legs needed to be split up in order to avoid both staying too long at the charger and having to drive more conservatively. This was a problem I immediately need to deal with, since my third longest leg for the entire trip was the one coming up going to Girard, Ohio.
So, Girard is 183 miles away. Now, there's probably a version 2 supercharger between here and Girard that I could hit, but you know, in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday, I'm worried about like splitting the charging rate or whatever you call it. I know there's a version 3 supercharger along the way, but that's way off the highway, so I think it'll be worth it to just stay here and avoid having to make that trip. Threw some water on my face, got a cool Starbucks double energy. 3 hours 47 minutes. It's 1:47 in the afternoon.
After a full 30 minutes of charging to get to 80% battery, I was off on leg number 2 of my journey. By the way, there are 23 more charging stops to go before reaching the Portofino. Total distance of 2,837 miles.
Another nerve-wracking leg of this trip, 183 miles. I'm actually going just 75 right now because as I was charging at the last stop, anything above 80 was just crazy slow. I charged to the point where the Tesla nav said I would have 7% charge when I arrived at Girard. However, now it's saying 2. So I have 67 miles left. In terms of time, it's 3:37, which I believe is 5 hours and 38 minutes. So yeah, I'm feeling okay. Kind of tired, to be honest with you. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I might do some push-ups, some light exercise. I mean, it definitely doesn't help that it's really hot. Why does every one of these things have to be a sweat?
As I travel at barely above 75 miles per hour, I have to admit I wasn't the happiest of campers. First of all, it was hot, and I didn't want to jeopardize my 2% buffer by turning on the AC. I also didn't like being forced to drive at this speed in order to cover 183 miles, a distance which on paper should have been a breeze for the Model Y long range with over 300 miles of advertised range. After an unexciting leg where I just listened to podcasts, I make it to my next charging stop with yet again 2% left on the battery. Luckily, I knew that in the very near future, I'd finally be able to go fast.
So it's 4:34. So pretty efficient leg. We're gonna leave. So our next stop is only 56 miles away, so luckily that means we could just we don't have to stay here that long.
When traveling short legs, it wouldn't take too much more time to get extra energy into the battery in order to take an efficiency hit in order to go faster. So short driving legs, like this 56-mile one I have coming up, are where electric vehicles can behave more like their gasoline car Cannonball Run counterparts. Let's just put it that way.
Alright, that was really quick. I was there. That was, how long was that? That was 8 minutes. Alright, let's get going now. We're good. Alright, let's get out of here. That was quick. Don't crash into anybody. So, and I have 39% state of charge. That should be plenty. And this was literally right off the interstate. So. Right. Now that's what you call efficiency. And since I have like a 15% state of charge buffer, I can go fast here, which has been quite different from what I've been doing recently. So my brother called, I gotta call him.
My brother, who I'm updating regularly with my progress, is my co-driver. I would not be seeing him until the following day, though, because at this point of the run, he's still more than 1,300 miles away in Denver, Colorado.
Hey, and what? Come on, dude. Switch to the right lane already. Okay. Alright, don't. I don't know why people say that Ohio has a big police presence. I actually never noticed that too much about Ohio. It's certainly not like Virginia or like New Jersey. So, I don't know. During these distances, I can go fast. If I get caught by police here, I will eat my words. Ooh, Cuyahoga River. Too bad you can't see it. What's with these tall barricades? Usually you could see it, or you're on the edge. But anyway, this was a fun 50-mile route. I'm curious to see what my consumption was like here.
Another reason I chose the north route for this attempt was because I was at least familiar with this stretch of I-80 through Ohio, Indiana, and all the way to Chicago, Illinois. With experience on these roads and ample charge, I was finally able to go fast. I'm now on the Ohio Turnpike, and conveniently, I arrive at my charging stop right off the highway at a rest stop.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. So yeah, that was a pretty fast leg. So I'll be continuing on. I have a series of pretty short legs to go, so that means higher speeds. Yeah, concentration has to stay up. I'm gonna have a Diet Coke. The only thing I ate today was that Burger King croissant and hash browns. And I had Burger King yesterday, so Burger King needs to sponsor this Cannonball Run. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm off, and with the next 3 charging stops at rest stops along the Ohio and Indiana turnpikes, charging was convenient, fast, and allowing me to cover distance quickly. To be honest, the rest of the afternoon all felt like one big blur.
The last couple legs have been under 100 miles, and this one coming up will be 108 miles, followed by 104 and 107, and then another 98. So these require a lot of attention. I'm not listening to any music, any podcasts, or anything. I'm just going, paying hyper attention to the stuff going on around me. So yeah, obviously not trying to get caught by the police.
Here I accidentally overcharged in order to go to the next charging stop across the border into Indiana, 108 miles away in the city of Howe. For whatever reason, the estimated charge at arrival calculator wasn't refreshing, and lacking common sense and not realizing that actual time was passing, before I knew it, I had way too much battery and over 20 minutes had passed. And so I rushed to get back onto the interstate and into Indiana.
Yeah, night's falling, 9 hours, 48 minutes, doing a lot better than the old Cannonball Run. Going to be heading into Indiana soon. I'm not exactly sure where I am. West Unity, Ohio. That's cool about this Tesla map. It tells you where you are at all times. But yeah, I'm actually having fun now. My charging has been fast. My driving has been fast. This was a mistake though. 16% at arrival. You see, I was charging this until this said 7%, and then it jumped to 16 as soon as I started driving. I don't know what that's about. Okay, I better slow down here. But yeah, I'm having fun now. It's great.
So night would eventually fall as I crossed into another state and to another supercharger at a rest stop by a turnpike. This one in Howe, Indiana.
So let's do a trip summary. So we passed the 10-hour mark. It's 10 and a half hours total. Okay, we're charging at 256. Good. Let's do the trip information.
Just for reference, the Cannonball route on the Tesla trip odometer is for the Cannonball Run, while the Hertz donut counter is tracking the total number of miles on my Hertz rental. My next stop in Portage, Indiana is the last iteration of Turnpike, Rest Stop, Charge, before I end my familiarity with I-80 and go into the unknown.
Hey, what's up? So it's now 9 o'clock and that's nighttime. Night has fallen. So it's 9 o'clock, still in Eastern time zone. 11 hours have passed and we're on the way to Portage, Indiana. Now it says I should have an arrival state of charge of 4%, which is like more like it. That's pretty ideal. At the beginning of this Cannonball Run, that would have freaked me out, but now it's okay.
At the beginning of this leg, things were more of the same with sparse traffic and wide open roads. However, Indiana this far north is not terribly wide, and signs were showing that I was getting closer and closer to Chicago in the neighboring state of Illinois. To me, the city of Chicago represented a major checkpoint in my journey. To state the obvious, since I lived there for so long, I always get a little bit sentimental being near it, otherwise known as the warm fuzzies. Regarding the Cannonball Run though, it meant the end of the Eastern time zone, and for me at least, the end of my familiarity with driving in this part of the country.
But yeah, so far things are going good. 11 hours, 11 minutes total. So much better than the Cannonball Run and the Cone Electric. I'll be passing the Chicago area, though I've never taken the route I'm taking right now to Iowa, so I'm not really sure if I'll be able to see the city skyline, but that would be cool. Either way, I will be seeing Chicago on the Route 66 road trip.
As you just heard, shameless plug, I take Route 66 on the way back from California. Video on that coming soon. Speed slowed down considerably as I get closer to Chicago. My supercharger is a bit before all that madness though, just before the border with Illinois in Portage, Indiana.
It's gonna get laced. Fun, nice little discreet spot. Okay, I'm not gonna have much time. It's another 100-mile run to the next stop. Okay. All right, plugging in at 6%. Okay, gotta do the... Wow, it's 10 o'clock exactly. Cool. Okay, 10 o'clock exactly. Okay.
By the way, the time on my phone attached to the windshield will always be in Eastern time zone. At some point though, I crossed into this Central time zone but didn't realize it. So the next leg to the Peru, Illinois supercharger is one I originally didn't want to take. There is a way to completely bypass charging in the state of Illinois. However, it would require a straight shot of almost 200 miles, which I learned on the first leg of today's driving is simply not feasible going at high speeds in this car. The location in Peru was quite a ways in town and what I initially thought was an older V2 supercharger. However, I was about to get a pleasant surprise.
Wait. But that's working, right? 19? There are 19 available? Oh, it's saying 250. On PlugShare it said 150. Maybe they upgraded this. That's cool. All right, then that definitely makes it worth it. So, so what am I doing now? Should I go in? All right, I'm gonna go inside and get a hot dog maybe. I'm not even hungry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I never did get that hot dog, by the way. I guess the adrenaline was running a bit high. I did have a few Fig Newtons though earlier. These were providing adequate sustenance because remember, they're not cookies, they're Newtons. After just 15 minutes of charging to build a comfortable enough buffer, I was off again deep into the western portion of the Midwest to Peru, pretty much midway across the state of Illinois. While unfortunate that I would pass well south of anything resembling the Chicago I knew, I continued west and into unfamiliar territory.
Alright, so I got 9.5 miles to Peru, Illinois. And these Tesla wipers aren't that great. They should like give a wipe now, but they do wipe for random stuff that I can't see. I'm gonna have to put on the climate control, I think. Ah, it's clearing up already. Wonderful. See, that's much better. So yeah, I'm on my way to Iowa right now. The roads in Illinois suck.
Please forgive me if I start to get a bit loopy as the night progresses. Obviously, I've been doing this a while, and with the mind and body getting tired, I get a bit more uninhibited.
Why don't these people move over? What? I mean, it's clear. You ain't alpha bro like me. Okay.
And so my journey into the night and the unknown continues. My next stop in Peru, Illinois is over a mile off the interstate. Much less convenient than my previous few stops, it's the only supercharger in this part of the state and necessary to continue my journey. After not too much time, I take my exit to navigate through town.
Alright, here we are in beautiful Peru, Illinois. Nice little town. I mean, I lived in Illinois a while. I never really went to this part of the state, though. But, you know, it's pretty nice. I went to Wisconsin a bunch. Like, seriously, this is what I'm waiting for? Oh, God. This is BS, dude. It's all red. No one's going anywhere. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Now turn right onto Midtown Road. In 500 feet, turn right onto Plaza Drive.
Where is it? Oh, there they are. I see them now.
Now turn right onto Plaza Drive.
Yeah, this was a little trip. Wow, that's a lot. Elon Musk, you go, girl. I mean, boy, you go. Elon! Okay. I don't think that Hy-Vee is open. Anyway, it's coming in at 6%. Let's just do this charge real quick. Oh my God. Okay, 6%. Let's do it. Charge.
It doesn't take long to put in my next supercharger destination, this time crossing just into Iowa, 98 miles away. It's 10:45 p.m. local time on a Saturday night, so with all the nearby businesses closed and the parking lot nearly empty, I decided it was time for an impromptu party.
Yeah, we got some time, why not?
For whatever reason, this came with premium connectivity until the end of the month. Like I said, it's serendipity. Oh, the trunk opens? Really? Alright, now I want it to stop because I'm embarrassed. Luckily there's no one around. During this short charging session, it was obvious I should have done less partying and more checking the weather report, because as soon as I got back on I-80, I discovered even more rain than before. Okay, I sort of have an issue. I assumed the rain would have stopped completely, but it continued. That's not the big issue. The big issue is that I'm forced to use anti-fog, because like without anti-fog, believe it or not, the window started fogging over, and that's just dangerous. However, I didn't take that into account when I was considering my my charging So now I just have 2% expected at arrival, and I'm nervous again. I wanted to relax. Had some pretty pollution. I continued on the best I could under the circumstances. However, rain was definitely persistent as I made my way across Illinois. Strangely, I found myself eagerly looking forward to the next charging stop. That's because it's at the world's largest truck stop. And let's face it, that's not something you see every day. I fall below 5% battery about a dozen miles away from my destination, so limping along and with foggy windshield, I desperately search for signs of civilization. After many miles of straight-up darkness on the horizon, the lights of the Quad Cities illuminate the hazy night sky. Before long, I enter Iowa for the first time in my life, and it's not long after I find my supercharger at the world's largest truck stop in the city of Walcott. It's the world's largest truck stop. Wendy's is open. Nice, Wendy's is open. As I waited for my order, I had a look around. It was an impressive indoor space for sure by itself, and I assumed there were facilities for actual truckers elsewhere. Complaint though from Tesla drivers, this is how far you have to walk to get there from the supercharger.
This charging stop is going on way too long. It's been going on, well, it's just 20 minutes. We gotta call it soon. So I'm doing it to 62%, 6% extra because I just have to use the anti-fog right now because it's just really fog. I gotta use it, man. There's no choice. And, you know, it's very humid outside. World's largest truck stop was cool. Wendy's was open. That was amazing. All right. So there's the world's largest truck stop. Okay, where's my key? Oh, I got Wendy's. That's amazing. All right, let's get going. All right.
In 500 feet, turn right to take the Interstate 80 West ramp towards Stockton.
So the next stop, 102 miles away, is in Grinnell, Iowa. Iowa is a chonky boy state smack dab in the middle of the country that will take a while to get through. So I set off back on I-80 expecting to do more of the same thing I'd been doing before, this time on nearly empty roads. I had no idea what Iowa would have in store for me.
Yeah, so I got the auto steer working. You just have to turn it on while the car is off. And I had this limit for that, 85 miles an hour. And I had this while I was eating my burger. I will take control now. There doesn't seem to be moisture in the air anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the defogging and hope that the windows stay clear. Look at this in front of me. 3 free and clear lanes. That's the advantage of the north route, in my opinion. Granted, I never finished the southern route, but I mean, I-80 versus I-70, there's no comparison. I-80 was just so much nicer. I'm going to my next stop in Grinnell, Iowa. It's about 60 miles away. And 3 lanes, free and clear.
So after refueling myself with Wendy's and switching from Diet Coke to Red Bull, I felt amped to take on the nearly empty roads of Iowa. Everything around me also cooperated. The rain and humidity I had been dealing with for the past 3 hours was finally clearing for good. And since I stayed longer at the charger, I had extra energy to burn. As the highway suddenly switched to 4 lanes, things started to feel not quite right.
With Ohio, I was above 100 a lot because there are other speeders and there are other cars. The thing is, it's kind of conspicuous. I'm the only guy on the road and it looks like I'm going pretty dang fast.
You know those gut feelings you sometimes get when things are about to go wrong? Well, I've lived enough life to tell you to listen to those feelings, like I should have done at this time. First, things got a little weird.
Like, this thing here is creepy. That red thing, it looks like I'm about to board a UFO. I don't know how well it comes off on camera. I'm just driving off into these red blinking lights. I'm gonna Google Marengo, Iowa, what are these creepy red lights?
Seriously, these red lights blinking in unison really weirded me out, especially since it seemed like I was passing them without seeing where they came from. I was more uncomfortable though with being the only one out there. Traveling at high speeds, I felt things were just too easy and that I was like a sitting duck. My premonition would prove true as a short time later, I would pass a small white car sitting idle in the highway median. This car came to life as soon as I zoomed past and started to trail me. I knew exactly what this meant, and soon enough, I was lit up and pulled over.
Hey, what's going on? So, okay, actually, let me record this really quick. Ooh, where's my pen? Alright, so let me tell you what happened. I got pulled over, I want to say about an hour ago, half an hour to an hour ago. The dude was in this, like, subcompact white car that it honestly looked like one of those, like, construction site support vehicles. He was in one of those, and then I was just like, oh, that's nothing. I saw it, and I hit the brakes, but, like, I saw it too late, because it was literally just, like, in a field, you know? It wasn't in, like, one of those, like, pullouts. Yeah, and he claims he got me at 90, but he let me go. So that just goes to show you that, the thing is, like, it's nighttime, so, just think like a cop, I would say. Like, I turn on my interior lights, windows down, it's a hard job, it's a hard job, like, for real, and I believe, just being respectful, but yeah, I mean, I got let go, thankfully, but I was scared the entire rest of the trip to Grinnell, because I was afraid that the guy would be, like, speeding up behind me, trying to check on me, or radioing to his buddies or something, and that to get me, because he, like, gave me a warning. He basically said, in general, keep it under 80. So actually, that's what I'm gonna do until I get out of Iowa. I'm just doing bare minimum charging, so I'm just hoping that going lean on charging and going 80 will be a faster or equally as fast strategy as charging a little extra and going super fast. I'm just paranoid, man. But I'm slowly getting my nerve and my balls back. Let's do the next stop. I totally forgot that. What? Des Moines is only 47.5? Oh my god, I have enough right now. I gotta go. Shoot.
I hadn't looked ahead on my list and was shocked to find that my next leg was the shortest in the entire run, to the capital city of Des Moines, only 47 miles away.
So you ever wonder what Des Moines looks like? I know I have.
It's obvious here that the effects of tiredness were setting in. Just as a reminder, the time on the phone on my windshield will always be in Eastern time zone, with the local time approaching 3 a.m. So forgive me if the things I say from now on are rambling or just don't make sense.
Alright, we're here in part of Des Moines.
1,000 feet. Turn right onto Northwest 2nd Street.
It's a bigger city than I thought it would be. And, yeah, I wish I could see this. I wish I could see it in the daylight. It's my first time.
Turn right onto Northwest 2nd Street.
Oh, shut up. I actually have no idea where this one is. If I had to come and go. Oh, there they are. Well, I can go use the bathroom. I really need to use the bathroom. This may be someplace with little privacy. Wait, are these version 1s or version 2s? No, they're version 3s. Let's do this quickly.
From this point, I'm desperate to get to my next stop in Shelby. Not only would it be my last stop in Iowa, it would also be at an older generation V2 supercharger. This meant charging would take longer. Yes, it's not ideal when optimizing for time, but I just needed to close my eyes for a solid 15 to 20 minutes. I knew I needed to sleep. I was desperate to do anything I could to stave off my biological needs for just a little bit longer. So I enter the come and go, splash my face with cold water, and make a purchase so I could resort to a tried and true method for staying alert.
Don't judge me, alright?
So yeah, I'm no longer gonna be driving with that much caution anymore. So I gotta get the record. So I figured that one thing that the cop told me was, if I were a state trooper, you would have already had your citation. So he's not a state trooper, so I'm guessing he's fairly local, so I'm guessing west of Des Moines. I'm maybe not too well connected, so gotta be bold. It's not long before I set off for 101 more miles to the western edge of Iowa, when I could finally take a breather. It didn't take long for things to become a bit unhinged. Hey, what's up? I'm gonna light myself with this UFO if that's cool with you. So it's 4:48 in the morning. It's Eastern Standard Time. Local time, it's 3:48 in the morning. I got this UFO. So I'm counting UFOs. I signal them with my lighter. And in this moment, I'm happy as Incubus, man. I was gonna talk about something. Yeah, now I'm getting a little unfocused, to be honest with you. I'm gaining that focus back. The truth is, though, the focus wasn't coming back anytime soon. Like here I am trying to use the Tesla's glass roof to signal for an alien abduction. Because I once saw on TV that aliens would drop you off further down the road following the abduction. Crazy, I know, but hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. While this was happening, I hadn't realized that a common problem from the past was revisiting me once again. I got a 2% estimated state of charge upon arrival. This time, I believe it was the cold temperatures that had increased battery consumption. It had dropped to the low 50s, and even I was starting to get cold. Unfortunately, the last 20 miles of this leg would have to be traveled at speeds less than ideal. Let's see, we're at, oh wow, I can't believe we're almost at 20 hours. We're at 19 hours, 18 minutes, something seconds. It's 5:19 Eastern, this is 4:18 Central. No! Sleep till Denver. Da-na-na. With my condition and how empty and straight the roads were, the highway started to resemble a liminal space like the back rooms, and I started to fear I would never get out. However, my exit would eventually come. Oh god, I think I'm in turtle mode.
Turn right onto 385th Street.
I'm in turtle mode. This is scary. Never happened to me before. Okay, that's the last time I do the lean charging
Now
thing.
turn right onto 385th Street.
It's snowing? Why is it so cold?
Now turn left.
Where are they? I don't see anything.
Now your destination is
there
on
they
the
are.
left.
Thank God. So these are version 2. So I don't know. I hope they work. I never use a version 2. I'll just do this. More privacy. I doubt a towing person is coming on. Thank goodness I made it. Okay, it's starting to charge. Usually it would already be doing stuff right now. Wait, am I on crack? Why does it say 13 kilowatts at 2%? Is this gonna go up? Do I need to switch and try something else? Oh, it did start to turn on. That's good. Give me a little heart attack there. Alright, well, 93 miles to Lincoln, but I don't know. That shouldn't take that long, but I am tired at AF.
From this point, after setting 4 separate alarms on my phone, which would all blast through the car's Bluetooth, I drift off to the land of slumber. I wondered what cannonballers of the past dreamt about besides Farrah Fawcett at the finish line suddenly wanting to hook up with them. The caffeine fights my body for a couple minutes, but I do manage to fall unconscious and have a nice nap tucked in under a tree and with a cool breeze flowing through the window cracks. With the next stop only 93 miles away, the car didn't need the time I was taking there, but the driver did. When I wake up, I'm in a daze, but knew exactly what I needed to do and just got on with it.
Hey, what's up? Back on the road after a 30-minute charging stop at a version 2. Was 30 minutes necessary for charging? Absolutely not. As you can see, a 19% expected state of charge. But it was necessary for me to close my eyes and just fall unconscious for a few minutes. So that's what I did because I was really tired.
I was also tired of seeing this. Endless lane lines into dark horizons. I yearned just to see the daylight. It's a 5:15 a.m. local time, and this time of year dawn was still at least an hour and a half away. Nighttime hours here were uncomfortable. While being the only one on the road sounds ideal, you're the only one on the road and you can't see that far. So any traps set by police were made for you. I know if I did this again, I would bring a radar or laser detector. And though it wasn't daylight, I was blinded by the lights of Council Bluffs, the last major city in Iowa, right along the Missouri River. This river serves as the natural border between Iowa and Nebraska. And right after crossing the border with Nebraska, I enter Nebraska's largest city, Omaha. I'm taken aback by it. It's easily the largest city I had seen since New York, and I experienced a little emotional boost. I felt satisfaction simply seeing new, interesting places, as it was my first time in the state. Once driving through the city, though, it would be another 40 miles of darkness until reaching the capital city, Lincoln, where my next supercharger was. The next supercharger was located well within town. Lincoln was another surprisingly large city with a unique downtown that resembled cities on the East Coast, however with much less traffic.
It's got the bridge that's right at window level with all these buildings. Huh. Well, I'm going at faster speeds again. That's good. Will it be fast enough though?
Now you have arrived at your destination.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. This is where the superchargers are. Okay. I can work with that. Runza is closed though. Is Runza what? An Applebee's kind of?
I knew this would be a longer charging stop. My next driving leg is the longest I've seen since Pennsylvania at 127 miles. Also, I'd be gaining elevation and wanted a little extra to go fast. Honestly, I was still pretty tired by this point. So with it still being dark and with nothing to do nearby besides rent an excavator, I sleep again. I'm there for just under half an hour. When I wake, there's daylight. And by the magic of circadian rhythms, I feel renewed and ready to take on the day. I start things off with more award-winning GoPro footage.
Hey, what's up all? It's Sunday morning, and we are in Nebraska. Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Look out, the world comes for you. Look out, the world. Television, tell this for 40 minutes of sleep.
I've been doing a lot of driving. I don't do too much cannonball these days. Yeah, I'm not going to subject you to that any further. Since we're around the midpoint of the run, let's do a quick recap. So, current EV record is 42 hours, 17 minutes. Right now, I just crossed 22 hours, which means more than half of the record time has elapsed. At this point, I'm only about 1,350 miles in, so this is about 47% of the distance. This means that I am behind the pace. However, with this new day, I'm determined to make up ground. Speed limits are generally higher in the West, and I was off to a great start in Nebraska. Furthermore, I was now only one state away from my co-driver / brother waiting in Denver, Colorado. However, this being the American West, he was still just over 400 miles away from me at this point. The weather drastically improves and it's now a bright, beautiful day. Traffic was sparse, visibility was great. It had been a while since I got to do some fast, lower stress driving and I had missed it. I was having fun again and miles were just flying by. Nebraska's really pretty. Great cities. I had no idea Nebraska had, like, you hear of the cities in Nebraska, Omaha, and Lincoln, but they're actually really nice. Like, great architecture, really cool stuff. I bet there's a really cool culture here. I mean,
Now take exit 272 on the right.
I find my exit to Kearney, but don't worry, my takes on Nebraska continue. What do I know about Nebraska? I know that the movie Election with Reese Witherspoon and Matthew Broderick was set here. Oh, 311 came out of Omaha. That's kind of cool. Runza Restaurants. That must be a Nebraska thing. Alright. It's so easy. Happy go Rocky. Alright, let's get the... Oh, dang, I forgot to do that. 23 hours and stuff. I don't know. I really have to make up for that bad night. It was not a good night in terms of driving. Just total paranoia. So I got here at 8:24. 8:24 CST and trip stats. 410 watt-hours per mile will tell you exactly how I was driving. So anyway, my next stop is only 96 miles away, so I don't have to be here long at all. There's nothing around here anyway, so nothing to go to. So I'm just gonna chill here. I'm not gonna sleep or anything. So now I have to decide, how do I want to do this? Put in extra, go fast, do barely enough for cruising. I think putting in the extra to go fast for this short distance is the right move. Okay. Sunday morning. Look out, the world's round. And I love how much space there is. We're not in the Midwest. What do you even call this area? The plains? So I got nothing planned for this stop at all. Don't need to use the bathroom. Not hungry. Not tired. Kind of have to do a number 2, but that can wait. It's kind of the reason I'm not really eating all that much. All I had yesterday was Burger King, followed by Wendy's late at night at the world's largest truck stop. If I could find a place to drop a deuce, that would be wonderful. Can you suggest a place? Let's see. Go to the Wendy's. I've never Arby's. I don't think I've ever had anything from Arby's. Wendy's, that's my girl. Runza's. It's a Nebraska thing. Oh, they have McDonald's here. So after 20 minutes of charging to have a bit extra to go fast, I'm off to my next charging stop in North Platte. Now, I forgot to record footage of this leg, but without hyperbole, I can tell you that it looks almost exactly like the driving in my last leg. Just lots of open roads and farmland on both sides. With sparse traffic, driving was relatively stress-free, and I make it to North Platte without a hitch. Laid out on the bath mat, 6 miles south of North Platte. He just wants his loft back.
What bug just tried to bite me? Interesting town with all these like tall signs up here. All of them. All the businesses have it. It reminds me a lot of Breezewood, Pennsylvania. As you're coming in off of I-80, it's a better view. And I gotta say, I really appreciate they put the bins and squeegee here.
Okay, so I go into the Runza to use the bathroom and take care of my biological needs. I also discover that they're a sandwich place. Okay, so this is where I make a pretty big mistake. The original plan was to go all the way to Brush, Colorado in this next leg. At 172 miles, it is massive compared to what I had been doing recently. I wanted to put in extra because I did not want to have to watch my speed. So I stay at this charger for over 30 minutes to get a comfortable enough buffer. However, almost immediately after setting off, I decide to add another charging stop 51 miles away in Ogallala. So here I am at the exit for Ogallala feeling really stupid because I know I've wasted a lot of time by being indecisive. Once I arrive at the supercharger, I explain the situation.
Where? Oh, I see cabinets. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty stupid place to put the charger. Did I see those guys before? No, I didn't. I think these are version 2. Sure. I don't know. Okay, like I was saying, so I deep charged over in North Platte. That's why we're at 53%. I charged up to 80, wasted that time doing that. Well, I didn't waste it, I still have the energy, I guess, but at a slower rate, thinking, I'll just drive efficiently to Andrews. Then the Tesla route planner just told me stay below 70, and I'm just like, the speed limit's 75. I just didn't want to go below the speed limit. I didn't want to be that conservative. I mean, it's awful, and I think it's just not safe to not be driving at the pace of traffic. So I'm charging up to here to get enough stuff for Brush. Okay, so that was only 10 minutes in 11:13 out 11:23. I don't know, it's stuff like that that makes me feel super stupid.
So ideally I would have charged just enough in North Platte to make it here, then charge at higher rates here to go to Brush. However, I try not to focus on that. I just know I have wasted time in order to go fast, and I better not fail on that mission. So I'm finally on my way to Brush, Colorado for real this time. That is now 121 miles away, a much more manageable length. At that moment, I decided that I was simply not driving another leg longer than 150 miles. Distances longer than that meant watching my speed, but doing that just wasn't any fun.
Alright, so on the way to Brush, I'll be calling my brother when I'm about 80 miles out or an hour. That'll give him time to prep. He lives in the Denver area, but he's gonna meet me at the charger in Brighton, obviously. I'm not gonna go to his place. It'll jeopardize, if we're doing a Cannonball Run record. Can I just take a moment to praise Nebraska? Can I just take a moment to praise Nebraska highways? I mean, I love this type of asphalt, and the roads are smooth, the speed limits are high, not any cops in sight, just wonderful driving roads. Good job, Nebraska.
So, in a little bit, something kinda somber will happen. I will have to get off of Interstate 80. I had been on it since New Jersey and kinda felt a kinship with it at that point. However, I-80 would continue to Wyoming and I needed to head south. But as I took the off-ramp to I-76, which would take me into Denver, I thought I heard I-80 wish me luck on the rest of my journey. Please keep in mind I had only slept about 45 minutes the night before. Very shortly after taking the exit, I'm in the unexpectedly gorgeous northeast corner of Colorado.
Dang, this is beautiful. I've never driven west into Colorado, and I wouldn't have expected this. And I am totally surprised. This is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous drive. I mean, why do I do this? It's not just you know, because I think Cannonball is cool. It's also because I love road trips. I love seeing America, different, you know, different shit. It's what makes life exciting. And this is just freaking gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous. Anywho, I need to call Andrew soon. I will be at Brush soon, and that's when Andrew will start making his way over to the Brighton charger.
At this point of the drive, I'm just a few minutes away from my charging stop in Brush. I'm meeting my brother at the next charging stop in Brighton, Colorado. This is about 30 to 40 minutes away from where he lives, so I call him to set things in motion on his end because once I was done charging at Brush, Brighton is only 68 miles, or roughly an hour away. Here's some footage of my brother now right before he leaves his home. His name is Andrew, and you'll notice he looks a lot like me, and that's because we were once of the same embryo in the womb, otherwise known as twins.
Hi, this is Andrew Anthony On's brother, and his co-driver for the last third of his Tesla record attempt challenge. And actually, right now I'm scrambling because him solo going across 2/3 of the way of the country, I thought he would be delayed significantly. I thought I would have many more hours, but I'm scrambling to meet him because he's actually ahead of my predicted schedule. Now it's still off the record pace, but hopefully when I join him, we'll make up the lost miles and get the record maybe. That'll be cool. So I'm gonna, I guess, meet up with him, get ready to go.
So I needed to use the bathroom at Brush and find something to eat, so I don't film anything there, and with a shorter driving leg to Brighton, I'm there for just over 10 minutes before setting off once again.
Okay, so Anthony's 28 hours in. I'm meeting him up at this Brighton supercharger, and he should be coming soon. Coming from over there, perhaps.
All right, so Andrew is at Brighton now, and I'm 19 miles away. I'm getting there as quick as I can.
So quick reminder before I roll into Brighton, the phone on my windshield will always be in Eastern time zone. Crossing into Colorado, I moved from Central to Mountain time zone. So the local time will now be 2 hours behind the time on my phone, with the local time now being 12:42 p.m. The local time will also always be visible at the top of the Tesla screen.
Oh, that's a BMW. Up there he is. All right, almost 29 hours in. There Anthony is coming in. And there is possibly the record-setting EV right there. A blue Tesla Model Y. There he is. Yes, bug-splattered windshield, several mounts. New York plates. Well, hello.
Hi, good to see you. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Okay.
Okay, so really quick, this is how you open it. You can either do it two ways. You just grab it. This sometimes, most of the time works if you push the button here. A lot of times it doesn't work, so you can just press it. The car has to be like unlocked first, which means that the key card's in there, and that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, now it's charging.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's it's 28 hours and 56 minutes in. And we are at Brighton, Colorado. All right, cheerio.
With the next supercharger in Idaho Springs only 52 miles away, it's a quick reunion before Andrew gets in the driver's seat and uses his expert knowledge to get through the Denver metro area. We immediately encounter traffic. Though costing us time, it was a good sandbox for Andrew to learn the ins and outs of the Tesla. Though he had test-driven a Model 3 years back, he had forgotten most of the Tesla's more unique operations. An automatic disadvantage on this day in Colorado was the heat. It was 85 degrees outside, the sun is much more intense at these higher elevations, and we had to turn on the air conditioning to keep our sanity. Soon enough, we arrive in Idaho Springs, easily the most crowded supercharger I encounter on this whole run, and we take the very last spot.
See, he is just as obsessed with cleanliness as I am. Okay, so we made it to our first stop as a team, which is Idaho Springs. Wow, the air conditioning. Why is it so hot here right now?
The next supercharger is in Edwards, Colorado, 77 miles away. It's a shorter leg, and we're not at Idaho Springs long. Once we get back on I-70, we get to see why this stretch of I-70 is considered some of the prettiest driving in the entire country. The north route takes us through the Rocky Mountains, with much of it over 10,000 feet in elevation, with a max elevation of a little over 11,000 feet.
So we did our first charging stop along the I-70 interstate, and it's looking beautiful. I'm a passenger here as my brother drives. I'm going to get some quality sleep as he's got an hour 9 minutes. Hopefully he'll make that shorter. We have 14% estimated charge on arrival.
So at this point, I try to get some shut-eye, and my brother takes over.
All right, so we're at the Tesla supercharger in Edwards, Colorado. Okay, so he started on the 16th, 8 o'clock my time. So it's about 30 hours. 30 hours and 15 minutes so far. This guy hasn't even rested because his head is so full of stimulant.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, what's going on? So we are here at the Edwards supercharger. There's Electrify America with the Rivian. But yeah, we are at Edwards. Is there an Air Force base nearby? That I don't know. Okay, so we're at 31 hours, 12 minutes. The current record is 42 hours, 17 minutes, which means we have roughly 11 hours to finish the trip.
Andrew goes inside, and I put in our next supercharger in Parachute, Colorado. It's our last charger in Colorado, 89 miles away, and I was honestly looking forward to getting to lower elevations. My mission to sleep didn't go too well. The elevation was the biggest issue. It was giving me a headache, so I decided to stay awake and keep Andrew entertained with my witty conversation. He suggested I try again to sleep. Staying awake had the benefit of seeing these spectacular views though. This stretch here I believe is Glenwood Canyon, though I could be wrong. Though beautiful, it turned out to be relatively slow due to mostly being only 2 lanes, steep grades, and lots of drivers due to Colorado now being well populated. I now know that if I drove this route again for Cannonball, I'd have to account for Colorado traffic.
Okay, let's do a quick Cannonball status update, shall we? You don't need the navigation, do you? Alright, so right now we are a total of 1,980 miles in. We'll be heading into Parachute very soon, and right after that we'll be crossing the 2,000 mile mark now. Let's do a time check. Focus. Okay, so we're at 32 hours, 20 minutes. 40 seconds, which means we have about 10 hours left to get this done, and we have roughly 850 miles left to go. Is it possible? That's what we're here to find out. And well, the thing is, like, I might be good at math, but I've never driven that route before, so I don't know how open it is. But we're gonna try our hardest. We're not giving up.
By the way, we just got the finger because this is a construction zone that has a zipper merge, which means you could use all of the other lanes to merge the traffic together, yet everyone was on the right, and somebody stuck their hand out the window because we wanted to use all of that space.
But I'm honestly surprised by that, because like that zipper merging is well accepted. I mean, people look like idiots lined up in one lane.
As we approach Parachute, the landscape widens and we start to feel like we're getting out of the mountains and into the desert. Hey, what's up? It's me, Anthony. We're here at the relatively new Tesla supercharger installation. Really beautiful in terms of scenery. You know, I came here to get a Cannonball record. However, the scenery is just like this extra little bonus. We're at 32 hours, 48 minutes, and we're gonna be here a little while. We need to go 145 miles, which is, I'm learning in this Model Y long range, a task for it. Nice to see my brother. Thank you very much, Andrew, for doing that. How many legs have you done now? Two? Two very good legs. So anyway, we should head off soon, but yeah, we'll see you later. The next stop is in Green River, Utah, a well-known town among EV owners traveling in this area, since it's really difficult to plan a trip through Utah without using the chargers there. It's 145 miles away, Andrew's at the wheel again, and we're off with the knowledge that we were really heading into the depths of nowhere. Utah and Nevada along our route are pretty much all desert and difficult terrain, so population centers and superchargers by association become much more spread apart. We say goodbye to the beautiful Rocky Mountains and feel a bit of trepidation going full steam ahead into utter desolation.
Hours in, we are entering Utah. Exactly 34 hours now. Welcome to Utah.
Along this leg, my body finally catches up with me, and with the lower temperatures and elevations, I'm finally able to get some decent sleep. I'm not sure how long I was asleep for, but when I wake, I'm in a daze and find ourselves approaching Green River with less than 5% left on the battery. Hey, what's going on? We're in Green River now.
Here.
Huh?
I'm not getting any speed.
Oh, you're probably in turtle mode. And my brother has entered turtle mode. We're coming into Green River. We just did like a 140-mile stretch, which didn't sound like it would be much, but and we charged to like 76%, but we're coming in on turtle mode, so there must have been a lot of hills or winds or something affecting the yeah, I don't know. It's really peaceful here. I like it here a lot. My first time in Green River exactly happened. We're going a little safe. That means we'll be here a while. It's a version 2 charger, but can't really complain because this is kind of your view here. Nice.
Very beautiful part of the country.
Traveling. I like how there's just like tons of open space here. And again, the record's nice, but really, just having an excuse to go travel this country, hit the road is just, that's good enough. All right, we should be ready in Green River. We'll be ready soon. We're gonna start off with 74%. Since I was sleeping the last leg, I'm not really sure what happened, but it was a long stretch, and we did have to pull back on the speed a little bit, really slowed us down. And now, in order to be competitive for the overall EV record, we'd have to do 700 miles in 7 hours with charging, which is not possible.
Did you take a right or a left to get in here?
I took a right, but it's a loop, so you have to go take a right on that road.
Green River was an older generation V2 supercharger, the third I've used so far on this trip, and it took almost 40 minutes. However, we didn't really mind since it was a welcome break in a picturesque environment. As we drove out of town, the setting sun provided a backdrop of epic proportions. Our next charging stop is Richfield, Utah, another V2 supercharger. It's one I didn't originally intend to use. However, at 123 miles away, it was a much easier distance to manage than going directly to the charger after that.
Damn, look at these roads. That's smooth AF. That sky. Unbelievable.
Driving through Utah into the sunset at first seemed normal, and I was expecting more of the same. However, I couldn't have been more wrong. This was among some of the twistiest, turniest Gran Turismo-like driving I had ever done. I had not expected the land formations in this part of the state to be this random and unpredictable. And this is from someone who has driven extensively in the state of Utah. A side effect of this, it was damn fun. A nice little boost after learning that the overall EV record was now out of reach. At this point, I was still determined to go as fast as I possibly could to get second place. The next fastest cannonball time in an EV is 44 hours, 26 minutes, done by Kyle Connor and the folks at the Out of Spec YouTube channel. I was honestly not sure at that point how to do the math to find out what that would take. I just reverted to my original strategy of go fast and hope for the best.
Alright, so I'm guessing that's Richfield over there. It's the only thing out here, so, and according to our map, we should be getting there. It's about 9% state of charge.
After an adrenaline-fueled leg of driving, I finally see a big collection of lights down in a valley and figure that I must now be arriving in Richfield.
This even delivering power is not making any noise. Do you hear anything? Oh, it must be charging.
It's kind of cool when it turns on.
Oh, okay.
112, not bad. So I think for only going 64 miles with this car, to go 64 at a cannonball speed, it probably needs about 40%.
Still trying to get the best time that we can. When we do this, we realize that the actual record is pretty impressive. We're leaving. Oh God, where's the key? Okay, here we go. Oh God, where do I go? Okay.
You quite alright.
I don't remember how we got into this hotel. So.
To the left.
We're not in Richfield too long before setting off. I'm at the wheel again, and our next stop is in Beaver, Utah. It's a relatively short leg at 64 miles. For the remainder of I-70, it was more adrenaline-filled driving on empty roads full of twists and turns, ups and downs, and juicy bugs splattering on the windshield. However, it wouldn't last for long as I would have to get off of I-70 to go south. The northern route avoids going south for quite a while. However, we make up for it here as we get on I-15 and make a mad dash to get to the degree of latitude where we need to be in order to make this run happen.
Alright, that was windy. I had no idea that 70 got so windy right near switching to 15, but we're arriving at the junction now, and we are going to
Las Vegas.
Where are we going again?
Las Vegas.
Oh, right. Okay, Las Vegas.
Not to Salt Lake City.
Okay, right. So hopefully this will be straight, because that was windy and a little nerve-wracking. So, hey, I got 7% back on my estimated state of charge arrival. So that's energy that we need to burn. So that's the goal.
Once we're on I-15, we continue the mad dash south and towards the Beaver Supercharger. It's our last charge in Utah before heading into more desert in the state of Nevada.
Oftentimes, electric car owners are the ones just coming out of nowhere. These like poor employees thinking, where did these guys come from? Alright, so we're just getting some food. Longer charging stop. We got a 142-mile leg in front of us. So, yep, chilling in the car, charging.
So the next stop is in Mesquite, Nevada, one of the longer driving legs at 142 miles. It's 10:24 p.m. local time, and there's not much to do as we charge and nothing around. I start to fear for my safety once I see this woman doing what I can only assume is practicing her MMA moves. To use on me, I should hope not. My brother's driving the next leg, and I take the back seat again because I was pretty exhausted. With the lack of sleep combined with my mind and body still kind of on Eastern time zone, I start to crash as Andrew gets us back on I-15. It's another stretch of pretty much all desert to all sides until we get just across the border with Nevada to the city of Mesquite. Nevada is a state well known for gambling, and the first town we come across certainly held up to that reputation.
We're in Nevada. Oh, look at the palm trees. I haven't been to this area of Nevada. I went to Las Vegas in 2006. That was the last time I was in this area. Yes. Very. There they are. I wonder these months. It's kind of a fun charger. They have classic cars here. Look at the state of that. There are some juicy bugs out in the plains and in the west.
It's another longer charging stop, so I walk around and enjoy the warm desert air. It's a welcome change from the swampy conditions this time of year near the DC area. Once entering Nevada, we do our last time zone change from Mountain Time Zone to Pacific. Now the phone on the windscreen, which is always in Eastern Time Zone, is 3 hours ahead of the local time. The correct local time will always be on the top of the Tesla screen. Of course, we can thank Elon for that. The next charger is in Primm, Nevada, which Google Maps also calls Gene for some reason. It's 121 miles away and located less than half a mile from the California border. However, California would be mine to drive and mine's alone. The drive to Primm would be Andrew's last leg for the run as he keeps a much more normal schedule than me and was reaching his limit. This meant though that I needed to sleep to get ready for my all-night drive. I told Andrew though, wake me up once we get to Las Vegas.
Leaving Mesquite, Nevada. Listening to some Andrew Bird, can't get any better. Alright, rolling into Las Vegas. We won't be going here.
Okay, so the Tesla nav has us get off of I-15 and drive through the city of Las Vegas. Neither Andrew nor I knew why. To be honest though, I didn't really mind.
Ooh, let's stop there. The adult superstore. I'm just joking.
Why am I stopping through
My guess is that maybe the I-15 is a beltway or something. It's quicker. That's a nice unexpected surprise to go through Las Vegas.
Very confused why very confused why I'm driving partially through the city.
Like most people, Andrew and I have only ever flown into Las Vegas, so we weren't sure why we were being directed this way while driving. The lights were pretty though. Furthermore, we resist the teeming options for less than savory entertainment. In fact, as we're both happily married men, it never even crossed our minds in the first place.
Spinny sign. It's not done in marketing enough these days. We should bring back the good old spinny sign.
After some more traffic, we're back on I-15 and heading towards Primm. And while we were expecting it, bad news would happen along the way.
What's up, Andrew? How you doing?
Good.
It's going to be approaching 42 hours and 17 minutes, which is the current electric vehicle Cannonball record time.
So it became official that we had passed the record time, considering we were not yet in the correct state where the finish was. I'll go over later the reasons I think we fell short. For right now, Andrew gets us to the supercharger in Primm, Nevada, which is literally within sight of California's eastern border.
Alright, so reference, it's 1:30 a.m. and we're arriving here in Primm. We're switching drivers now. We're hoping that McDonald's over there is open. It's Vegas, baby. Oh wait, we're not in Vegas. Scratch that.
In Primm, and we're just about to enter California. We're going back to Cali. And yeah, it should be good. So anyway, I'm just gonna get situated. I did get to sleep a little bit, so I should be good. It's only 240 miles. That's perfectly doable. So yes, the Portofino is now only 240 miles away, and I'm excited to finish this off strongly. With over 90% of the journey now complete, I think it'll be a breeze, but problems started almost right away.
I told Andrew to come over here where it's nice and isolated, but everyone seems to be going over there. We didn't see above 142 kilowatts of charging. At this point, at 43% in, I don't think it's going to make a difference, so we're not unplugging. And now I want to know, should I trust the route planner? Distances are not created equal for the route planner.
So our next stop is in Yurmo, California, 98 miles away. This charging session was a bit weird though. After returning from finding a bathroom, we saw charging rates slower than what they should have been, and suspected we had accidentally plugged into an older V2 supercharger. However, because we weren't sure and we were almost done, we decided to stick it out. Another issue was that the car's navigation told us we were ready to go much earlier than we expected.
Alright, we're leaving now. Okay, that's way long enough. I'm gonna trust Elon and just go. Because in other situations early in the trip, trusting this proved not to be very good. Alright. Alright. Thank you very much, Andrew, for getting us through Nevada.
Yeah.
Shortly after setting off, I learned one of life's most valuable lessons. Never trust Elon. Almost immediately after getting on I-15, we enter California and drive into easily the highest winds I had encountered throughout the whole trip, and energy consumption goes way up. Very shortly after setting off, the car tells me to keep it under 70, and like I mentioned before, we weren't gonna do that. I wanted to have some fun closing this thing out, so I add another charging stop in Baker, California in order to get the energy to do so. It's inconsequential at this point, but it's mistakes like these that really add time. As I drive to Baker, Andrew quickly falls asleep, and I discover that driving I-15 to Los Angeles can be described by 3 words: one giant downhill. I'm not sure how well it comes off on camera, but this stretch just felt like a straight, never-ending downhill. It was both thrilling and nerve-wracking at the same time, as speeds were high, but roads weren't great, and California drivers are simply faster and a bit more unpredictable. Baker is only 50 miles from our last supercharger, so it's not long before I roll into this tiny desert town.
Wow, there are a ton of Tesla shows. Unbelievable. Trash cans. What?
Now your destination is on the right.
So yeah, I should have just stayed longer in Primm and guaranteed my thing to Yurmo. I just wasn't sure because it was so inconsistent. This indecisiveness, man, really was one of the contributors to this record run not going as planned. 43 hours, 30 minutes, 41 seconds. Let's look at the stats. We have 2,640 miles total traveled. We've got about 200 more after this. I should have trusted my gut. I never trust Elon.
After putting in a few more kilowatt hours into the car at Baker, I resumed the seemingly perpetual downhill towards my intended charging stop of Yermo, now only 48 miles away. I felt more comfortable as other speeding drivers unknowingly served as recon for me, emboldening me to go faster. So in terms of being competitive for the record, I believe my run disintegrated from the proverbial death by 1,000 cuts. I had a couple unplanned charging stops. I got spooked once getting pulled over in Iowa. The EV record has evolved to the point where these kind of details matter. If I did this again, I would need better police detection, especially at nighttime. Most importantly though, I would need a better car. The Model Y, in my opinion, is a great overall car. For Cannonball though, it lacks the big battery, which shows its advantage best on leg number 1. As much as I'd hate to admit it, the record may have been lost right out of New York when I was immediately forced to compromise on speed. But back to the California desert, it's another fast and short drive to another tiny desert town. We're now arriving in Yermo. Here I discovered that while the wind had died down for a while, it had now come back with a vengeance. We're not here long as it's only 55 miles to our very last charging stop in Hesperia, California. I put it in the Tesla nav, and with my brother sleeping in the front seat, I step outside the car and simply enjoy being out in the California desert. It was glorious. I get some push-ups and stretches done to get the blood pumping before unplugging and heading off towards Hesperia. I don't film this leg, but traffic does pick up dramatically once I-40 from Arizona merges onto I-15, and despite it being about 3:30 in the morning, the roads start to bustle with activity as we get closer to LA. We roll into Hesperia, and it's much more developed than the tiny desert towns we'd seen since entering California. It's a relatively unknown California city, but still had a population of 100,000. It's obvious that we were seeing the edges of Los Angeles' urban sprawl. So yes, this is our last charging stop, and despite this being my 28th supercharger of the run, I make an embarrassing mistake.
What the fuck? You have to touch your tires to the bollard or whatever this is, because otherwise the cable won't reach.
So this is it, charging for the last leg to the Portofino, now 97 miles away. We're now just over 45 hours on the run, which means we also went past the second place record time. So I guess that just makes us two brothers driving across the country in a Tesla for some reason. On that note, please like and subscribe. Check out my Buy Me a Coffee link.
Okay, so here in Hesperia, this is our very last charging stop. It's like 4 in the morning. We should get there between 5 and 6 in the morning, which, doesn't that mean there's LA traffic on Monday morning? I thought I would be beating LA traffic, but it looks like I might be joining them. So I'm gonna try to get out of here as soon as I can. I just have a question for all you Californians out there. Why are you up so late? Like, there's so many people out and about at 3 in the morning. What are y'all doing? You know, I'm just curious. Honestly, once I get to the hotel, that's what I want to be doing.
With ample extra battery, I finish charging and do a quick time check before setting off towards the very western edge of Los Angeles, where lies the iconic terminus for the Cannonball Run, the Portofino.
What in the heck? 4:28 in the morning? Come on, guys. Well, yeah, what are y'all doing at this hour?
So yeah, California, you need to go to bed. Sleep is good for you. And if you're just getting up, well, take the day off. We're still over 90 miles away from the Portofino, maybe 70 miles away from Los Angeles proper. It's 4:30 in the morning, but traffic looked like this. As traffic slows down more, I see this in front of me. I genuinely start to get worried. California has a reputation for always being on fire, so I genuinely didn't know if what I was looking at was fog or wildfire smoke. Traffic actually speeds up though dramatically once I get closer to Los Angeles. Los Angeles traffic is really a unique beast. It's like the final boss if commuting were a video game. Though it looked hella crowded, traffic still moved at a very fast pace.
LA traffic is nuts. It's no exaggeration. I mean, this stuff happens in Maryland, but at like 3/4 the speed. I mean, people are like doing 80 to 90 regularly. Do people not care about their lives?
The route gets much more confusing the closer I get to downtown, but luckily Andrew wakes up just in time and feeds me the directions.
At Los Angeles.
I can't believe there's still 20 miles left to go. It does get more remote out by the coast.
After some intense white-knuckle driving through downtown, things begin to calm down around us as we head towards the coastal communities. Before we knew it, we were in Redondo Beach. It's just after 6 a.m. and the sun was starting to come up. And though we were both tired, we were brimming with anticipation.
Okay, we're arriving at the Portofino. 4 minutes, 1.3 miles. It's a long journey. The LA traffic was crazy, but you know what? After minutes and minutes of dealing with LA traffic, the miles were like, quickly melting away. And even though it looks chaotic, LA people know how to get places. I mean, it was moving. Coming into California was very, very hilly. Traffic started at like 60 miles out of town. It was crazy.
Well, take that road over there. That one that's slightly curving. So you're in the right way. Redondo Beach, King Harbor.
Yeah, very happy to have seen the country, driven across the whole country in less than 48 hours. That in itself is a goal that I'm very, very happy with. Yeah, we didn't get the record, but that's okay. I mean, the point was the road trip, the travel, with Andrew, I guess, the camaraderie to some degree.
Thanks.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was definitely fun. And we're going to have some fun here in California. And then Andrew's going to join me on the first portion of Route 66, which I'll be doing on the way back. Yeah, I wonder what'll happen once we get there. Do you think some staff will see us arrive in our smelly car and quite disheveled and be like, oh, cannonball people again or something? What did you do? Yeah, beautiful here.
I wonder how many people attempted, but yes.
Not that many.
I'm sure that, yeah, but
it sounds a lot better than it is, because, like, when you're planning at home, Straight. Where is the actual time?
In
Beautiful
500
area.
feet, your destination will be on the right. Now your destination is on the right.
So, I don't think we can enter right now.
all right.
All right, press
Wow.
the timer.
This one?
Yeah, just press the pause button.
All right, so 47 hours, 14 minutes, 29 seconds.
Okay, I'll just go park here. I don't think the valet is gonna come out, but
Yeah, just park here, man.
okay.
All right, well.
Nice, we did it. Nice high five, man.
Anything to say?
No, I'm pretty tired. I'll process it all later. Thank you very much.
So that was it. We were done and it felt great. What an amazing finishing point on these beautiful grounds with palm trees and refreshing beach air. Here is our final time and distance for the run. We're not at the hotel too long as there is no rest for the wicked. We start our Route 66 road trip back east the very same day. Shameless plug. Well, actually, I feel quite a bit of shame, to be honest. Route 66 video coming up, which is in the works now. Before heading back east, Andrew and I putz about LA for a bit and go up to Malibu to take in the Pacific Ocean, something neither of us had seen for a few years now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this journey across the country with us. Please like and subscribe, especially if you made it this far. And thanks so much for watching.